Hello and welcome. I am so glad you are here for this next episode of Joyful Business TV. I am going to bring somebody to you and introduce you to her, and I am super excited. She's one of my favorite people who's come into my life this year. I can't wait to tell you more about her. Meanwhile, I'm Laura West. I am the host of Joyful Business TV, and I'm also the CEO and an intuitive business coach at the Center for Joyful Business at joyfulbusiness.com. And for over 20 years, I have been working with change makers, ripple makers, conscious business owners of all types, coaches of all types who really want to do their soul work, right? They're here. I know you're here bringing your gifts out into the world, wanting to make a difference, but you want to do it in a way that's not like the old style, old traditional marketing, old traditional way to run a business. You want to do it in a way that is fun, creative, where you can't wait to share it. Marketing feels like it's a gift that you're giving. Yes, that's really possible. And that, yeah, and what I help you do is to really clear out the block so that, your marketing can be like you're giving a gift and that you're putting your work out, standing in your leadership in a way that is just totally aligned from the inside out. So that's what I do here. And that way you can make an even bigger difference and you can make great money while you're doing it. All right, so today let me introduce to you my friend, Monica Kenton. Oh my gosh, she is just, I just think she's very, everybody I bring to you is very gifted, but she is certainly a creative soul sister and very gifted in the work that she does. So let me tell you about Monica. She helps high achieving soul seekers consciously dream their best lives into being with more creativity, fun, and ease. So already you can tell exactly why Monica's here. Monica Kenton is a spiritual advisor for life and business. She's a dream teacher, a shaman, a writer. She works with purpose-driven high achievers who oftentimes live fast-paced lives, but they're ready to embrace more of their unique spiritual connection, to bring more soul and creativity back to their life and their business. She combines her unique spiritual energetic principles from dreaming, numerology, shamanism, and a variety of other modalities, along with concrete modern day strategies to create rapid transformation. Oh my gosh, that's exactly why you're here. Hey, Monica, how are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be here.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you can tell just from your bio. I'm like, well, this is like we're so aligned. Like, of course.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So tell us what does all that mean? So when you work with these high achieving entrepreneurs and they're looking for more access to the spiritual side, what are they really looking for?
They're looking for really tapping into what I consider their heart's desire. So, first of all, most of the time when people come to me, the high achievers, the first thing they want help with is I need more time. I don't have enough time. I'm working so much. I need a little bit more fun. I want some balance in my life. And so, a lot of times people will come with some of those main issues, but they also want to bring in more of a spiritual vibe to what they do. And then from there, just as I start to work with people, little things start to kind of unfold, right? Because as we let go of this pressure of time and this pressure of all these other things, then we give ourselves that opportunity to really tap into what our heart and our soul wants to tell us. And so that's kind of how it starts to work with
I love
people.
that. I love that.
Mhm.
I do believe that it's like we get so constricted with whatever pressures there are, right? That we can't even get access to the our heart's desire. Would you say that's
Mhm.
true? Hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's kind of how I am. I mean, I used to be a university professor for over 22 years, and with that, it was like all through the head, and it's like, okay, it has to happen this way. And then when we start to bring in more of that creativity and tap into what gives us really joy, which is all what you're about,
Yeah.
right? It
Why
taps
work
into
together?
yeah, exactly. When we tap into that joy, then all of a sudden we start, it's like parts of our soul get unleashed and we're just like, oh, I forgot I really loved that. Or, oh, this really gives me so much happiness. And that's kind of how I end up working with people to unleash unleash that from themselves.
Right, right. And wouldn't you say that, have you noticed more of a desire that people are, it's kind of like the pandemic put us in this pressure cooker, and whatever we were experiencing is what's that word? Ascorbated? I can't even say that word. Acerbated. And it's, like it's more extreme. And now I think people are like, you know what? I can't take it anymore. It's time. Joy needs to come up to the forefront.
Oh, totally, totally. I saw, I think that that shutdown that we had, so many people I've heard were just like, I've given myself that all of a sudden I had that quiet time to be able to reflect, and this isn't how I want to live my life. I would rather be doing X, Y, or Z, or I would like to discover what X, Y, or Z is. Yeah, I do believe that happened. I mean, it happened for me too. I think it happened for everyone of just like
Mhm.
what gives us joy and
Right. So
follow
how did it
that.
happen for you? I'm
Well,
curious.
for me, I was doing more with my business, more of the teaching aspect because I love to teach. I've been a teacher all my life or all
Hmm.
my adult life, and I really loved the whole teaching and I realized that what I really love to do is do more journey work with people and having people connect into their own messages. And so I started bringing more of that piece in because, before I was thinking, oh, everybody needs a lot of the teaching to understand everything. And I really then started to gravitate more to bringing in more of the experiences and letting go of my old teacher mind that was saying, no, you can't do that, right? And
Right.
yeah, and that's what gave me a lot more joy is to be able to share that side of me and more of the quirky, creative side as well, and not getting caught up in what people think about it.
Mm. Yeah, that is so huge for entrepreneurs, especially
Hmm.
people who are putting their soul work out into the world. It's so easy because soul work is naturally, it's different, right? It's different than
Hmm.
the teaching and the, how we think coaches or, whatever it is, how we think our business is supposed to be, or we were told it's supposed to be, the model we learned. Now
Hmm.
we're bringing our own medicine out in a different way. And people need to be able to go beyond,
Hmm.
those blocks or that box. Yeah. So I love, because you're so good at that. I love that. I feel like I've taken some classes with you, and that's something that I just absolutely love. So I'm really curious, how did you go from university professor to someone who brings in uh, dream work and shamanism? And I mean, we do drumming, we go into these journey portals. I love it. And it's so fun. But how did you make that leap?
I made the leap. I had a car accident in 2000, and so that propelled me on a conscious journey of healing my body and healing myself. And so I didn't know anything about energy or any of that. I had read a little bit in books, and
Mhm.
so I needed to experience all of these things to help heal me. And so then I just went from one thing to another, from regular chiropractic and massage, and then got into Reiki and energy healing, and shamanism then showed up. And then it just started to open my heart, and I felt so happy, and my life started to change so much that one thing led to another. And I felt like, oh, instead of repeating over, because I was a Spanish teacher for 20 years, so I didn't have to continue to repeat, yo hablo español, right? And so one thing
Hey,
led
that's
to
how I
another.
sound.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And
Y'all,
so,
with a
yeah,
y'all on the end.
exactly, exactly, exactly. And so all of that started to happen. And then I went into, then started studying everything on business to understand business. And I took the route that, the cookie cutter method that people are saying wasn't a cookie cutter method, and burned out. And then I needed to retool. And that's when the dreaming started showing up in different forms because I've been doing dream work for 20 years,
Mhm,
but it all showed up in different ways. And I was getting my information personally by the journeys I took. And so eventually it all started to morph, and I wanted to share that with others to be able to get their own wisdom instead of going down paths of other people's wisdom.
mhm. I love that. I love that. Um, and you're reminding me that, like, to me, I think the path to soul, to really opening up your soul work, it is a journey. Speaking of journeys,
Hmm.
I love how you're saying, it started here, and a lot of people have some sort of wake up calls, and it sounds like that car accident, was a wake up call for you to start looking in other directions for
Hmm.
healing and support. And then that leads to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And it evolves. It's an evolution. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And I really needed to listen to my body. I think that was a huge piece because even when I, after the car accident, when I started going down this different path of the business building, I wasn't happy because I was doing it the model of somebody else.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then my blood pressure blasted up like 20 points and I had to slow down and sleep and retool. And then I left that whole paradigm behind, got out of that whole coaching method
Right.
to redo it. And so I think our bodies, well, I know our bodies as well want to go along for the ride, and when they don't want to go along for the ride, they'll let us know, or they let
Yeah.
me know anyhow. My body sure did.
Yes. Yeah. It's so interesting because I just wrote something yesterday about that, about letting our bodies tell us, through
Hmm.
different ways. They give us signals and communicate with us if something's in alignment or something's not.
Hmm.
Or it's too much or too little. And
Yeah,
yeah, whether
exactly.
it's, food and water or sleep, or whether it's something more spiritual or something even, like you said, the path to growing your business, like there needed to be a different model for you. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, totally. I know you get that.
I totally get
That's
it.
what
I
you're
totally
all
get it. I'm like so
about.
excited. Like it's taken years for me to bust out of that old, I call it the shackles. Like it felt like shackles were put on my ankles and they would just pull me back, into, oh, you should be doing it this way. And I kept getting this feeling in my body of like, no, I don't want to do it. And I thought I was just being a rebel and just
Hmm.
making it difficult. But in fact, it was calling me in a new direction, just like what you're talking about.
That's cool. I like that shackle analogy because that's really what it does feel like when I know it felt that way for me.
Yeah, yeah. We see in the movies those old, the prisoners have the chains on and then they get jerked by the chain. That's how it felt. I was getting jerked back into like, nope, you better do it over here and
Hmm.
do it
Yep.
this way. And so I love that. So how do you market now? So like if you've got this new business model, to me it's conscious marketing, but it's also like creative marketing. Like there's a whole different way. And so I'm curious, like how do you market? How do you attract your clients?
So it is conscious marketing, and for me, it also is about energy as well, right?
Hmm.
And energetic connections, and most of the connections, a lot of the connections I make are referral based. So I get a lot of referrals, and because it is some with some people it's really deep work, and then I just do different like experiences. Like I might do a 4-day dream experience and I'll share it with people I know, and then they'll share it with other people they know. And so I like to do a lot of experiential types of things. And so people are just like, oh, that sounds fun. And that's really kind of how I like to market. And when I get stuck in maybe that old paradigm of thinking, it
Hmm.
just won't work. Like I tried to do that with something else I was um, launching just recently. And it's like, oh no, you need to do this many videos and this many things. And I was like, oh, wait, that's how I was taught. Now,
Right.
that doesn't mean it doesn't work for other people.
Right.
It
Right.
just, for whatever reason, at that moment, it didn't work for me and it didn't feel authentic. And so that's kind of what I like to do is give these experiences and then tell people, does it feel supportive, light, and joyful? And if
Hmm.
it does, then let's connect and,
Right.
have a conversation, and not from that place of, I always tell people I'm not selling their soul, right? It's just like if it feels right, then it's right. And so
Right.
that's kind of how I like to do things. And I'm always looking for new things. And, I use a lot of my dreams. I connect in with crazy characters that I have and ask, I have like a mastermind in the dream world that I ask people questions too. So it's, it's a lot of stuff I do,
I
right? For
love that. I love
marketing.
that. Oh my gosh, you and I could have such a great dinner together and
I would love
conversation.
that one of these days when yeah, that would be really fun.
We'll have to intend that. And yeah, because do that too, and I do it more since having worked with you. It's like there's like a whole team that's there ready to help you, and it's
Hmm.
creative and fun, and it's that energy alignment piece. Like to me, it's what I need to help point me towards that energetic alignment piece, to make decisions and move forward. So I love how you're sharing how you market, because it's like when you give people experiences, when you show them the soul work, it like speaks for itself.
Hmm.
And yeah, you want to have the things in place. How do they pay? How do they sign up? How do they get on your list? And, how do you develop those relationships? But it becomes to me, it's like a gift, right? Your marketing does become a gift that you're giving people. So yeah, so I am intrigued by this mastermind that you have. Is there anything that you would be willing to share about your mastermind and maybe how you develop that, called people or called the entities into the mastermind, and then how do you use your mastermind?
So sometimes they show up, and so they're always gonna, some of them are different. I have one that is like a main one that shows up with people from the past that like James J. Hill, who used to be a train railway baron from Minnesota, and that's where I'm from.
Mm,
My grandma, my grandpa, because they're like my best supporters on the other side. A little mouse named Alfred, and so they're just I've found them in different ways
mm,
through the dream time, and they show up, and so I've connected with them. And then there are other times when it's just, lately I've had a lot of connections with um, Boy George, believe it or not. And
what
some
would Boy
people who are
George
just,
do?
yeah, and he's just like, hey, honey child, just go wild, stop being so conventional and just be yourself. And
Right.
and so he would, I would connect with him and go into this little hotel that he was in, and he'd say, here, I want to introduce you to my friends. And we're by a pool, and one time, in the summer when I really wanted to push things, he's like, you need to just hang out by the pool and relax right now.
Mm,
And then it was about a month later when I connected again, and he's like, okay, now it's time to do some stuff.
mm,
So, it, people kind of like will look at me and just like, well, that's not really spiritual. Boy George is kind of crazy. And but
uh-huh.
it's what he represents, and it's the energy that he represents. And for every single person, it's gonna be different, right? And
Right.
so
Right.
some people might have that connection with the mastermind to Jesus, or us, somebody on top of a mountain. I tend to get the ones that are a little bit the bold, the rebels, the ones who have been against the grain a little bit, and
Right.
because they just kind of want to shake me out of being so conventional at times.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Well, I think we need that.
mhm.
In different ways, right? It can exist together. You can still have you access your higher power in whatever way feels right for you. And um, yeah, I know I have people in my wisdom council, not even people,
Mhm.
animals. I
Yeah,
have,
exactly.
all sorts of things. I have this relationship with Aphrodite. She comes in, she'll bring in
Cool.
the love and beauty and things like that. And and to me, it's when we wake it up, and I know you believe this, that fun plays such an important role. And so I'd love to hear like your thoughts about fun, because you're so good at that. Yeah,
Yeah. So my thoughts on fun, like one of the
fun and
things.
business in
Yeah,
particular.
yeah, exactly. Well, like just even how we both of us were talking, we were just started to get lit up because fun really is following what lights us up and letting go of the mind of what it means. Like, maybe 2 years ago I would have never told people that Boy George had been on my spiritual council, right, at this moment. And so part of it is having fun, but the reason about having fun and tapping into more joy is then we can be more creative, like we were when we were younger. When we're creative, then we have different ways of looking at solutions in business also, as well as life. But especially in business, when we're having, I mean, that's what this conversation is about. And with more fun, we're going to want to do things, and also we're going to attract more people, because business does not have to be so much of a drudge. And I think that's the old paradigm that we're all, we're, those are the shackles, right, that you
Right,
talk about,
right,
because I know you
right,
talk about this kind of stuff. And
right,
so having more fun just lights us up and gives us ways of looking at something differently, and getting out of our head. And also, sometimes fun, for example, will be creating, crafting, doing those types of things, because it also gives the business time to breathe. It also gives spirit, God, universe, whatever our connection is to the divine, time to do its magic behind the scenes so that we're not messing it up. Right.
Mm, mm,
And I think that's the importance of fun. And so often, on this journey, I know for myself as a high achiever that there's been moments like I've got to push, and trying to get to this place that never shows up, and forgetting to say, oh yeah, but really we're here to live our best life, and then to share our gifts without being exhausted. And so often I know for myself is that sometimes my mission overran myself, and it was
yes.
like all of a sudden I had to serve all these people.
Right.
But and then I was like, well, who's going to want to follow somebody who's burned out and exhausted?
Right.
So
Right.
let's do more fun. And sometimes it just means playing. And I just have to share this because it's right here. But this was my first time, like, see the little pom pom guy?
Yes, I do. I
So,
know you have your little pom pom critters.
yeah, but when I started having more fun, I really connected with my younger self. And this was the first kit that I bought about maybe 7 years ago. And
Uh-huh.
it gave me so much joy to create these guys. And it opened everything up for me. I,
Mm,
I started posing them everywhere, and, taking photos, and it opened everything, and my business changed. My business changed at that moment
wow.
and went in a different direction. And so, yeah, with a craft kit, I
With
mean,
a craft
really,
kit, right?
yeah,
Yes.
but it was fun. I
I
had fun.
I love that you're I so believe that we when you follow your joy, it opens up and fun. It follows, it
Hmm.
opens up the creativity. The creativity gives you more solutions. It's um, it's not creating for creating self, although that is fun too. Like just to
Hmm.
create for no reason, because I do think that creativity begets more creativity, and that's part of what I hear you saying too. So,
Yeah,
uh,
totally. And then taking practical actions, right? Because
mhm.
it just opens up that channel to see something different and then to take an action from it. So,
Right,
yeah.
right. And it's different than saying, okay, what is my action plan? And going and creating the action plan first. And, like that's the immediate thing. Instead, it's really aligning your energy, opening up to more possibilities through your creativity, fun, and joy. And then, like, listening for, all right, what is the action? What's the urge, the inspired action that you want to take? So I love that.
I love you. I mean,
I know, I'm like,
inspired action is the word I use a lot too, because exactly, it has to be an inspired action, and that is what leads us on our joy, right?
yes,
Mhm.
yes, absolutely. And it's not like you sit around and don't do anything. Like you still do the things, there's always things to do. But to me, they're infused with this energy and there's so much more available. Like we still got to write I still got to write my newsletter every Thursday or whatever it is. But it's like when you really connect with your joy and creativity, oh my gosh, it's so much easier and more fun. And the energy and the words that come out, are way more attracting and magnetic than drudging through and sludging through and let me crank out another newsletter. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it is about having, I mean, we do want certain structures in place and certain things in place that work for us. And I think in the spiritual world, sometimes people forget that action is key, because our soul wants to know that we are honoring it. And by that, we take actions, and those are some of the concrete things that we do.
Mm, yes, I love that. So I'm curious, what kind of like how do you start your day? How do you have rituals that you use? I know, I'm sure that you have something. It's like a loaded question. I'm curious how you start your day so that you can connect into the joy and the creativity and to, the greater possibilities.
So when I wake up, I make my latte because I love my lattes. So that gives me joy. I immediately come into my office and I journal down my dream. And so I start with a journaling practice in the morning. And so journaling my dream, and then getting the information, taking whatever the action steps are, that kind of shows me where I'm going. And then there are certain, then really tapping in, what does my body need? And so sometimes I might end up doing yoga stretching or breathing or those types of things. It varies in the
Mhm.
morning with whatever it is I need. However, writing down the dreams is the essential piece of it.
Mm.
And then from there, deciding what other actions am I going to bring in. And then I might, for the fun part, I'm going to also put clues out for, find the clues for the day. And
Right.
so that's where I start to bring in more fun, is like, okay, I would like some more information. So I'm very intentional. I create intentions for every day. How
Mhm.
am I, what am I looking for? What's something fun? And that way it's like tracking clues, and that brings in more fun for myself. And so those are the basic things. And then, beginning of the year, I have a whole bunch of different rituals I do, and
Mhm.
when there's that. But the basic ones that really light me up are the dreaming, my latte, and then some physical stuff.
I love that. I love that. And I love that you bring the latte in, right? Because it's like there's stuff in the physical world that brings us joy, like, and that's
Uh-huh.
okay, you know? And so,
Oh, I know. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
yeah, I love that. And then you're bringing in your dreaming. I want to just ask you a little bit about the clues. I know we're going to need to wrap up shortly. It goes by way too fast. Um, because I know, I'm sure a lot of people who are watching have are curious about synchronicities, and that's something that I have tracked for years. It's like follow the
Hmm.
synchronicities, or you give that little wink like, oh my gosh, that showed up 3 times, that kind of thing. But what I since working with you, what I've noticed is I have this whole higher like respect,
Hmm.
and honoring, I guess honoring is a really good word, of the clues. Like I really follow the clues because I know like the universe is communicating something to me, and I have deepened that so much. And I'm wondering if you can tell us just a little bit about that, about the following the clues.
So the following the clues, it's so fun. I call it the synchronicity experience. And so it's just really easy. It's just giving an intention for the day. What will help me have more energy? What would bring me more joy? What's something I need to do regarding my business, or a relationship, or anything, whatever our intention is, and then pick the first three things that show up that just kind of get our attention. It could be something from a song, some words somewhere, something on a billboard, Facebook memory, a photo, something when we're cleaning the house that all of a sudden shows up, or even an idea that shows up. And then bringing those together and saying, okay, what is that combination? And then the one piece that's really important is to let go of thinking that you're making it up,
Mm.
because that is
Huh.
is the piece, right? People are like, well, I just want it to be that way and I'm just making it up. And it's like saying to God, spirit, universe, oh, I don't want to have any more fun, and oh yeah, I see you're giving me clues, but I'm going to pretend that they don't exist. That's denying ourselves fun and joy.
Hmm.
So those are the huge pieces of the synchronicity. And then if you need more information, and then also saying, oh, nothing showed up, make something up. And I think that's the piece. People think, oh, I'm making it up. It's like we're making up life with every decision we make.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I just have fun with it. It's
I
so
love it. It's
fun.
to have fun, but also to trust it, really trust
Trust is
it,
big. Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
honor it that like, yeah, this is a thing, and this is the way that God, the universe communicates with us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. It's been really super powerful in my life and business to take it to this new level.
Cool.
So I know we just gave people a little taste of who you are, but I'm sure they're going to want more. So what is the best way for them to get a hold of you? And then I think you have a free gift as well. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, yeah. So you can find me at monicakenton.com. I'm also on YouTube and Facebook, and those are the primary ones right now. And then wherever I decide to go, when I might go to some other places. My free gift is the Bohemian Lights Dreamers 6 Keys to Live Your Best Life, and it is a 1 hour audio that is an experience, starting from intention, a drum journey. Opening up space, synchronicities. So there's 6 keys, of being able to open up to more fun and joy. And that is what the free gift is, and letting
Fantastic.
people experience it.
Yeah, I just listened to that the other day actually and really enjoyed it.
Oh,
And
good.
I will put the link to your website and to that resource in the show notes so that people can find it easily. Right.
Awesome. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you so much. This was a great conversation. Too short, but it was a really good conversation.
Ones that go fast mean that they're just a lot of fun, and I had a really lot of I had a really lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with you, Laura. So thank you
Me
so
too.
much.
Me too. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and I hope you'll go check out Monica and her Bohemian Lights audio. I also have some information if you'd like to have more information about having a joyful business and the types of things that we talk about there. You can go get your free Activate Your Abundance Toolkit over at joyfulbusiness.com. And in there, we give you, I have a guided visualization to connect you to the Universal Abundance Current, as well as a 7-day co-create with the universe journal. So lots of fun things today for everybody to be able to connect to their higher powers and open up their creativity, their joy, and get some great wisdom about their life and their business. So thanks, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Joyful Business TV. Thank you for watching this episode of Joyful Business TV. I want to invite you to get more creative strategies and support for growing your business. You can start right now by activating your abundance mindset with a really powerful creative visualization that will help you get into the universal abundance current, one of my favorite things to do. And you'll also get a companion 7-day journal that will help you create a daily habit of co-creating with the universe. These are two powerful resources that you can get started right now to help grow your business and activate that abundant mindset. You just go over to activateabundancegift.com.